right call. Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone of Ruel. I am not a member, however, I've entered into their labors. Peace and blessings to the sincere brothers and sisters doing this wherever you are, whatever your lot may be. Back at you with another quick one. Jotted a couple of precepts down that I was thinking. Let that car go by, or the fire truck. So anyway, jotted a couple of precepts down while I was thinking about getting comfortable in Babylon and how I needed to pray more. And everything that I'm about to say, I said to myself first. And again, I thought about praying more. I thought about reading more. Because you get used to the everyday hustle and bustle, and next thing you know, you've gone a day without reading. A day can turn to 2, 3. Now you're missing out on lessons because you did not seek out of the book and read and, try to apply whatever you have going on at that point in time with what you've read in the scriptures. All right, so let's kick it off. You said, we'll get Psalms 4 and 5 as I read or as I wrote down. And I like to read through the book of Psalms. And again, this is just more of a encouragement and a reminder to don't get comfortable here. This is not our rest. And I also got that as well. So Psalms 4 and 5, offer the sacrifices of righteousness and put your trust in the Lord. And our sacrifices of righteousness is putting off the old man and putting off the ways of this world, falling under the vibration of Yahweh Yahushai according to the scriptures. So you read and you obey, and what you read is in you, is in your heart. You build that spirit man up, and when things arise that kind of rattle your flesh, you have strengthened that spirit or your spirit in order to combat whatever it is you need to combat at that point in time. Psalms 5 and 3, and it talks about praying in the morning. So we'll get straight to the point. Let me make this turn before I try to read again and get somewhere and pull over. All right, Psalms 5 and 3. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Oh, that's 5. My voice shalt thou hear in the morning. And we should be praying every morning, praying that the Lord orders your steps, that he keeps you and that he guides you and your family, and that he protects your home, that he protects all the other sincere brothers and sisters that are listening, learning, preaching, and teaching, that he covers their families. We ought to be throwing up prayers for everybody, especially the men that are on the highways and byways. So Psalms 5 and 3, my voice shalt thou hear in the morning. O Lord, in the morning I will direct my prayer unto thee and will look up, because we look up to our salvation. That is when Yahushua cracks the clouds, or when, or with those that heavenly host, our salvation comes from upward. So we should always be looking up, or keeping your head on a swivel as well, paying attention, because you see the things that are going on in this world. We winding down. Okay, let me read 4. For thou art not a God that has pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell with thee. Again, so we want to read and implement what we have learned in our everyday life, fleeing from wickedness. Otherwise, your prayers are not answered. And we got 17 and 4 through 7. I wonder what that one is. I don't remember what that was. I just know I pinned it. All right, verse 4. Concerning the works of men, by the word of thy lips, I have kept me from the paths of the destroyer. Hold up my goings in thy path, that my footsteps slip not, as what I said earlier, right? I have called upon thee, for thou wilt hear me, O power. Incline thy ear unto me, and hear my speech. Show thy marvelous loving kindness, O thou that savest by thy right hand them which put their trust in thee, from those that rise up against them. So prayer, obedience, trusting in the Lord, having that faith. We need to implement those things and remember that this place is not our rest, that this place is not for us, and that we ought to, let me grab Matthew 26 and 39. Let's have it queued up. And that we ought to be doing the things that are pleasing unto the Lord in order for us to be heard. Because things are okay right now, right? Or they seem to be okay right now. But just wait. So this is Yahushua, he's about to be taken by the Pharisees, and he's about to be put on the cross. So he's praying, and he's in a heavy spirit. And although we may not be physically nailed to a cross or nailed or hung on a tree, our tribulation is coming. So here's the spirit that we ought to be in. This is a very long chapter, so you read through it. But I'm going to start at 39. The point is in 41. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, "Oh, my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me." So he was seeing the things that were about to come to pass. And in a much lighter version of what we're about to go through, if you're paying attention, you can see the things that are coming to pass. Although we don't know our end or how we'll end up, we just know that trouble is on the way. Trouble is on the way. Okay, so we ought to be falling on our face and praying and not getting comfortable. All right, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. And he cometh unto the disciple, right? So they didn't stay for 1 hour. Let me read 41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit is indeed willing, but the flesh is weak. Okay, Hebrews 11 and 13. That's right. So watching and praying, obeying. Let me read this out real quick, because I don't remember why I put this down. I should have put a note next to it. These all died in faith, not having received the promise, but having seen from afar off, and were persuaded of them. That's why I read it. Okay. And embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on earth. So this is not our rest again. And the precept to this that I likened was Micah. And if you read from the top of Micah, it talks about how we polluted our land and were behaving wickedly. So the Lord was like, all right, get up out of here. This ain't your rest. You've screwed it up. And our people are acting the same way in a land under a ruler. We aren't even sovereign. They want a piece of the pie here. They're happy with being here. Let me get it in the NLT, because I had it. That's Micah. But if you read, you go on your own, read through Micah 2. The point is in verse 10. Up and be gone. This is no longer your land and home, for you have filled it with sin and ruined it completely. Our people are still behaving that way, and this isn't even Jerusalem. So we'll come back to Micah, but I want to get Hebrews in the NLT, 11 and 13 in the NLT. Thirteen. All these people died still believing what God had promised them. They did not receive what was promised, but they say in that lifetime they didn't receive it. But they saw it from a distance and welcomed it. They agreed that they were foreigners and nomads here on earth. That is our spirit, especially here, because everything that you see will be up in smoke. Yeah, it ain't gonna last long. The fashion of this world is well on its way to being passed. Well on its way for it to pass away. That was a tongue twister. All right, so this is judgment against the wealthy oppressors. So this is the top, and in this point, you have these Edomites now that are in the place. You can liken that to these Edomites now that are wealthy oppressors. This is really about the people. This was an internal matter at this point in time, but you can liken these Edomites to this day that are wealthy oppressors, right? And do horrible, evil things for a profit. And our people still are fighting for just a piece of the pie of this devil's kingdom, of this devil's system. And that is why, those of us who are listening and learning and preaching and teaching and understand that Babylon is coming to an end, that we ought to treat everything as if we are nomads, as if we are pilgrims. We're just passing through, because the glory, our glory, is later. So, I didn't want to do anything too long. And of course, verse 6, right? Don't say, that is what our people want to hear. All right, don't say such things. The people responded, don't prophesy like that. Don't tell us the truth. Such disaster could never happen. All right, should you talk that way, O family of Israel? Will the Lord's Spirit have patience with such behavior? And the answer is no. They don't want to do what is right. Most of our people, 2/3 of our people, don't want to do what is right. Right, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for prophesy unto us vain things. But again, I didn't want to be too long on this. And again, I'm preaching to self about not getting comfortable. And daily we ought to be seeking out of the book of the Lord and reading. And that is in the book of Isaiah 36. You have it right here. So Isaiah 36 and 16. And the crazy thing is, in the beginning of Isaiah, it talks about how the Lord has an issue with Idumea and how he's going to bathe the sword in blood. And then fast forward, you go to verse 16, and it says, seek ye out of the book and read, right? Because these are the things that are well on the way. So we need to be paying attention, reading, learning. If you can fast, but definitely never stop praying and never stop reading. And again, that is what I am preaching to myself, because we can have the propensity to get comfortable or kind of slack when it comes to being in Babylon. That is that wicked magic they got, that they got going, to where it lulls you. So, be in the spirit enough to know when you're slacking. Pay attention and pray. Shalom.